переважно дивитися, орієнтуватися просто на слайди, але працювати на камері.
Hopefully we are here. Fantastic. So welcome and good morning, everyone. Apologies for a bit of the delay for a couple of minutes, but we will try to recuperate. So let us start with the webinar. Just 1 second, we'll share the screen. Okay.
Шаримо?
Ні.
Не ми шаримо? Окей.
I hope you all can see my screen for now. Excellent. So we will do a bit of the introduction. So welcome everyone, and my name is Anna Pomortseva. I'm a project officer at the European Organization for Security, and also a member of the Athena project. So today we are very glad to welcome you to our webinar. But before, I would like to have some of the things that you might want to know. So you can turn on your camera if you wish. But please mute yourself unless you ask a question. Regarding the questions, you can ask them via chat, or you can raise your hand during the discussion, what will be later on during the Q&A session. And as you probably might notice already, our webinar is already recording. And I hope it's no issues with that, because later on we would like to publish it on our website and also give you the opportunity to rewatch it if you would like to know and to repeat some things in detail. So a bit of about Athena, who we are. If you don't know, because I see there are a lot of our partners here during this webinar, but also some new faces. So if you wonder what Athena stands for, so we are about an exposition of the foreign information manipulation and interference. We have 15 project partners from different parts of Europe. As you can see, we have a small map here of all of our partners who are working towards Athena goals. And exactly what our goals, what our objectives. So we want with our project, it's a 3-year project, as I already mentioned. We would like to improve detection of FIMI, review and developing FIMI countermeasures, and sharing novel methods with policy, researchers, academics, educators, and the public. Hence, it was a short introduction of our project, who we are, to give you a bit of the overview, why we actually initiated this webinar. And today, exactly, I would like to welcome you once again to our webinar, which calls From Memes to Missiles, Information Warfare in Ukraine. And we have here with us our keynote speaker, I would say, who will be leading this webinar. So please welcome Ms. Mariana Prysezhnyuk. She's a female analyst at the ISSP, an international cybersecurity company. She's also a Ukrainian journalist and researcher specializing in international relations, strategic communications, and FIMI. Currently, she is pursuing her PhD in the University of Bucharest, focusing on Russia's strategic narratives in Eastern Europe. And today, Mariana will share her knowledge with us on some specific points. So we will go with the several aspects on the overview of foreign information interference in 2022, key case studies, chronological analysis, and then we'll go to the tactics and strategies a bit more in detail. And later on, we'll have a chance for a Q&A and discussion with the public, so feel free to answer the questions you want. Would like to structure this webinar in a way of a dialogue between Mariana and all of you who are participating here. So without any due delay, I would like to stop here, and I would like to give a floor to Mariana. And now she will be sharing her screen. So I will just stop sharing mine for now, and we'll give a floor to Mariana. So Mariana, the floor is yours. Excellent, we can see, and we need to hear you because you are unmuted now. Perfect. Yes, we have you here now. Excellent.
Dear colleagues, dear friends, first of all, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share my insights and share my views on some challenging aspects of strategic communication, information war, and definitely in the context of Ukraine, in the context of Russian aggression against Ukraine, it was to build up our discussion, and I really appreciate you to put your questions in the chat or raise your hands so that we have really contributing and interesting conversation within this expert bubble, I would say. So let me start from some points of conceptualization. My topic is from MEMS to missile, and I want to discuss with you today the role of memetic content in the information warfare and information competition, let's say, in the context of geopolitical tension. As Anna already introduced my academic interest, I pursue my PhD focusing on strategic narratives, and I will be talking a little bit about this as well, but in the context of MEMS. Whether it is enough to have this concept, or whether we need to somehow to extend this framework in order to analyze and in order to understand better with what we actually dealing with. This is my plan for today. And I struggle to start my presentation, so apologizes for these seconds. Is it what? Yeah. Well, this is my plan for this short workshop. I will start from the very notion, from the very definition. Then we will discuss the clash of senses, what makes MEMS specific, special compared to other forms of content and compared to other form of influential FIMI operations.
Ariana, apologies.
Yeah. Yes.
Just,
Yes.
are you sharing anything? Because we could not see any screen.
We don't see.
Yeah, just make sure.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Okay, now
yes, I'm sharing my presentation at...
Yes, now we can see. Excellent.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the second point of my presentation will be about clashing senses. This is about what makes actually MEMS special content in the context of information warfare. Archetype of or narratives. That is what I was talking about, whether it is enough to have strategic narratives concept in order to analyze this highly emotional content, highly viral content, media viruses, as it is defined by some scholarship. Jungian bridge to the social skeletons. It's like to having discussion with you, and I would appreciate if you have feedback on this theoretical conceptualization from my point. Definitely cognitive effects in the context of some TTPs, techniques, procedures, K-mimetic cliches, and definitely some examples, and open floor. What is actually MEM? It's not so new, and it firstly was introduced in Great Britain by biologist Richard Dawkins, and decades ago, actually. And this notion was described as a cultural DNA. Moreover, it was paralleled with this biological concept because of ability to mutating. And digital era, digital environment of nowadays proves this statement very well, because in digital words, in digital world, MEMS, memetic context, memetic frames become very much viral and even having multiple authorship. With one single sources, it became more and more viral, and to this frame contribute a lot of people. And it starts in digital world to live with own life. Memes is the structure of digital culture that convey group identity and social norms. This is a modern definition of Professor Limo Schiffman. She is a professor of Jerusalem University. And this definition was introduced in 2014. And it's important because it's covered also old perspective on this topic and contribute with digital insights from about digital environments and about digital challenges toward information warfare. What else can we say? Meme is rhetorical configuration manifested through both textual material, video, or image transferring the message related to the hot debated topic. And here we have the idea that it's not always humor, or it's not always funny picture. It could be even verbal expression, unintentional verbal expression, which starts to live its own life and to narrate, to shape somehow. Sorry, to narrate somehow as a context with our essence, let's say. And the last point I would like to highlight that is a meme can be drafted from intentional campaign element. So it can be the part of campaigning, it can be the part of PR campaign, it can be element of hybrid influence, it can be element of FIMI. As well, it can be spontaneous comments, slips of tongue, fake news, or other incidents. And we can observe it very well in political speech, in pre-electoral campaign, in FIMI campaign, and especially in FIMI campaign, because, and I call you to consider my insights from FIMI perspective, because our project, Athena project, specifically focusing on investigating foreign information campaigns. But it is even more interesting for just several examples. How can, sorry, I will continue my thought. I will finish my thought, but this slide is important to show you how the same context can mutate in a digital environment and live with its own life. So we all know these pictures, and we know these pictures with different slogans, in different context, in political context, in funny context, in some personal stories. Any context could be related to it, but these faces reflect some kind of emotional expressions that understandable for all of us, and transmit kind of code, transmit kind of configuration, kind of emotions that is shared, that create shared attitude, shared emotions, shared opinion. And I came up with neutral in order to illustrate the mechanism itself. So about hot debated topic we will be talking definitely further. So yeah, clash of senses and a bit of internal mechanism. So far, I call you to keep in mind that memes play a crucial role in constructing meaning between competing environments. And here starts the most interesting part of this investigation of this kind of content, because in every political event, in every political context, we have different agents competing for hearts and minds. as it was said in soft power concept, for example, but it's also not enough to describe this phenomena. And talking about war, talking about aggression, talking about conflict, and especially about the conflict where Russian Federation with its famous Gerasimov doctrine involved, which is consider information space and consequently digital space as a tailored environment for battleground for oppressing its opponent. Their mimetic competition become the new battleground as well. Strategic narratives, as I have already mentioned, this is one of the most important concepts in order to instrumentalize and conceptualize narrative stories which are produced by state and target to shape political events and target to shape big groups perception of these events, and it plays crucial role in diplomacy. It plays crucial role in projecting power, in projecting soft sharp power whatsoever. And in this regard, memes can be considered and as a crossing points where these opposing states, opposing actors in this in their FIMI competition meet together and discuss in such awkward way some attitudes toward one single census. Well, what else is very important to understand is that meme as a format of content has more than one author. It has multiple authorship. And even if the source of some cultural configuration or rhetorical expression is one single, definitely it comes from one single person, or it comes from one single political comments, or one single event, or misinterpreting or interpreting or whatsoever. After it has been mutating in the digital environment, or I don't know, mass media, print, there can be different way, but definitely prevailing in digital environment. After it started mutating, and who wants to contribute does it, and frame of narrative, context of narratives becomes the share, the share emotion and the share context. That is the point when it becomes the meme and when it becomes the shared sense. And definitely in the context of information warfare and in the context of FIMI operation, cognitive operation, it is very important to target these emotions that aimed to penetrate in different internal groups, or which emotions are targeted, and whatsoever with all these consequences that we can draw as an expert in strategic communication. Well, and starting. Sorry, Konstantin, you have remark? Okay. Here I want to draw your attention to more specific examples, and definitely war in Ukraine and its information extension. This is the boldest example of today's geopolitical tension and how it is shaped by information contents, different kind of contents, including memes. And here I put two memes from Yandex, and they transfer the idea of SVO, special military operation. In Russian, this is 3 letters SVO, they said. And At the first image, we can see Mr. head of Wagner, Prigozhin, who is dead now, but he played crucial role in some offensive operation against Ukraine. And the second image, this is Western cartoon with Soviet hat on his hand, and he has also symbols of special military operation on his letters put on his trousers, that he is like representative of special military operation. Definitely it differentiates from that point that Ukrainian have, and that is had in Western countries, in USA. The only Russia practically has its opinion that this military action is special military operation, and according to international law, it is defined in a different way, that it is act of aggression. But this is the environment of ideas where we can observe this extended battle for shaping events. And here is very clear that memes and such soft content become the instrument of promotion, this perception and acceptance of Russian frame of this military intervention. In order to summarize this first part of my presentation, I suggest to draw your attention on this little very short table with internal peculiarities and external peculiarities, just to keep in mind the main specifics of this kind of content. Internal part, cultural fragment, mutating ability in the digital environment, multiple authorship, what is the most important, in my opinion. And external peculiarities, shared stance of counterparts in different lights. So in different lights, yeah. So we are speaking about the same event, the same person, the same concept, but from different perspective. And the idea is to win our own perspective, and the memetic content become one of the most important and effective weapon to obtain this goal. Reflects collective social tension or frustration, where we have this shared attitudes that I understand the context, you understand in context, and we can all recognize, a lot of people can recognize some specific picture, that it has some special emotional energy. In that sense, it reflects collective social tension or frustration, and I mean here in tension by saying tension in a very neutral way. And what is also very important, that meme can exist beyond the context. When we are talking about strategic narratives, it can't exist beyond the context, because it is always about kind of specific person, kind of specific events, and this is a mean of diplomacy, this is a mean of strategic communication on the highest level, this is a mean of how state formulate their position toward each other and project our interest. But the meme is very flexible content. It can exist, it can persist beyond the context and even without the context, keeping its frame alive, like that two pictures that I presented you at the very beginning. This here I will start very interesting in my opinion part, suggesting to your consideration some fresh vision on memes. And as we have been talking that it's not enough to have soft power concept, that it's not enough to have strategic narrative concept, but it's still very important. But what we have to do, we have to come up with some multidisciplinary approach in order to understand better the nature of memes. And the nature, as we have already discussed and hopefully agreed, maybe you have other opinions, and I will be very happy to discuss further. Emotional, I refer to emotional concentration of this content. I suggest to consider it simultaneously through the analytical approach of Gustav Jung, portraying mem according to the archetypal stat. And from the perspective of emotional energy that it have, it discloses very interesting perspective, and gives really a lot of clue how to understand that emotion, that competing actor, countering actor wants to transmit through this kind of information. But it doesn't mean that we need we need to give up from the old concept, let's say, old previous concept, and to use some new approach. It is also it is everything working together, and archetype and narratives work together, and but they are not definitely the same. While we are saying here that strategic narratives, this is the story primarily, which is built around the, some events. That is the point where we can build up the next level, saying that this is the story built up around the some specific archetype, and archetype as a deep structure, and not only a communication tool, but cultural fragment, symbolic pattern rooted in a very collective unconscious, according to their theory, and exist independent content, but emerge in a different forms as memes itself foresees in its functional abilities. So this approach correspond to the idea that strategic narrative is built up around the archetype. And yeah, I guess I have pointed this idea that about the relevance of strategic narratives for international relations and strategic communications. But here I would like to highlight the idea that it allowed to interpret, this approach would allow to interpret memes not only the symbolic expression of social shared senses, but also to understand this kind of social emotions. And this approach is also not so new. There were several attempts to let's say, psychologize international relations and political behavior inside some specific society. So this is the one of these intentions as well. Let's discuss a little bit cognitive effects. How can memes carry information, and which kind of effects it could have on the target society? Definitely, it's not only about message it transferred. It carry effective energy, meaning it has emotional effect on the some specific group, and it could affect us on the trait perspective, on the personality perspective. It could affect our mood, and it could affect our emotion. So there are several dimensions from the lowest to the highest, how deep it can affect our and form our attitudes towards some specific events. And for example, when we are talking about solidarity in the context of aggression, this is definitely the high order, because this is a high order effect, because this is a complex of emotions. And we all know that there was plenty of pictures, plenty of messages, plenty of banners, plenty of visualized content supporting this idea and calling other states to support Ukraine. And these are all mimetic kind of cultural fragments that have intention to keep and preserve this state mood of solidarity. And when we are talking about low order effects, this is like very quick emotions like hatred, disgust, pleasure, and it doesn't affect us as a persons, and it can slightly affect the mood or kind of more complex attitudes or more complex perceptions. And the last part of my presentation is about key mimetic cliché in the context of warfare in Ukraine. And I collected several examples how some specific sense portrayed by Russian mimetic content and by Ukrainian. I'm not sure that it was Ukrainian, but it's definitely some opposing agent. So you will have an option to compare how one single sense is presented through this two-dimensional battleground. But to start, it is important to understand actually the nature of Russian strategic communication and Russian strategic narratives. I took several, the most important, and definitely the boldest one is the concept of Ruski Mir, Russian world. This concept positions Russia as the spiritual and cultural hero of Kievan Rus, claiming unifying mission over Slavic nations. And this concept can be considered the self-archetype, self-perception archetype, according to the Jung perspective. And as a strategic narrative build around this self-archetype, it has some more specific messages about brotherhood, about Russian soldiers, about Russian destiny, whatsoever. So, but we will be discussing only this strategic level. The next one, well, the next slide. Yeah, let's start from this narrative and respectively archetype. So the first mem, you can see opposition is definitely comes from Russia, and I found it in Yandex. Russian world compared to European civilization. So Russian world, you can see a pretty girl with like inviting you with bread and salt. It's like Slavic tradition to invite guests, and her acceptance of you, and she smiles, and she's very she's portrayed as being very kind. And you can also observe these elements of traditional values covered head and next to her. The second part of image, village in fire. and this clue that it is European soldiers. I feel reference to the Second World War, but it's like that is actually how it works. You on the level of emotion, on the level of feeling. So this opposing senses about one single meaning, the meaning of Ruski Mir, the meaning of Russian world. We have, for example, in Ukraine, our perception for us, for example, it's occupation, it's military intervention, it's aggression, it's oppression, whatsoever. Russian Federation transfer the message within this memetic content that it is it's about traditional value, it's about hospitality, it's about kind woman and whatsoever. Regarding this narrative, actually, I found more counter memes, counter narratives coming from opposing Ukrainian or, I don't know, Belarusian, Baltic states could also contribute to this counter memetic war, counter memetic confrontation. And that is how opposing part views Русский мир. Hello, здравствуй, Русский мир. Hello, Русский мир, and drunk man in destroyed, totally destroyed flat, and nothing there attract you, like no comfortable condition and disgusting environment. The next on the right side, also it's very actually interesting to analyze. Русский мир, expectation and reality. So this intention of Russia Federation to get closer to the Kievan Rus and to share the history, to take from Ukraine its history. And this is like another story, but at this meme you can observe that counter message is like you expect to be Slavic country, but in reality you are not, because you belong to Asia, and majority of your people come from Asia, and it's not very respectful from the humanistic point of view, but it transfer and inspire very bold emotion about this. And for me, for example, this is the strongest one from the emotional point of view. And I missed one interesting as well, coming from Russia. What is Russian world? Что такое русский мир? And it is small, but if you try to look at it attentively, you can see like ancient hieroglyphical picture, orthodoxal symbols, church, and it's definitely transferring of traditional values and referring Russian world to this kind of civilization, let's say. The next. Crimea is ours, Крым наш. Sorry. Here I also would like to mention that through this archetype, Russia assumes the role of South, and through these memes, it's very clearly visible how interesting this Jungian concept can be applied to these memes.
Добре, синок. Ну, хорошо, давай.
The next Crimea is ours, Крым наш. This set of memes appeared after annexation of Crimea, and this narrative of memes, of set of memes, is built up around the archetype of hero, invader, and invader shadow binary, I would say, if to go deeper in Jungian analytics. These memes transform national trauma of losing its territories and losing past supremacy of Soviet Union into triumph, reinforcing a narrative of historical density. And here you can see also very clearly Vladimir Putin near the Crimean Peninsula, because this is the castle which is a symbol of Crimea, and who know this topic closer can also recognize this castle. I don't know how to translate in English, Lastочкино гнездо, who knows Russian. The next meme, this is like counter meme, counter content, in order to battle this message transfer to this from the first image. And it's I would say it's smart, it's nice. On the first part of this image, you can see Crimea is ours. It's like integrating part of Russian memetic content into a new narrative, neutralizing it. And next to it, Siberia is our, and you can observe the person who is not typical Slavic by ethnicity. And the last part of this image, Moscow is ours, like trolling its messages by portraying that while you're reinforcing your historical so-called destiny, you lose your actually original territories. Russian Spring. I would say this is a continuation of the previous narrative and previous memetic set, but I very doubt that it is just message. It's really narrative, because it's also composed from different stories and very important stories, and moreover, it has its roots in Arabic Spring, and Russian strategic communication took it from there and represented the invasion and the operations and the FIMI campaigns into this message of renaissance of people who so-called wanted to come back to Soviet times and to rejoin with Russia within the same territory. And the next image, next meme, you can observe it's very important set of memes, and one of them, it was called, maybe some of you even remember, Symbols of Russian Spring. And this is a part of these narratives. And people, ideas. Sorry?
I'm sorry, but the slides are not changing anymore. Maybe you can refresh the screen or something. It would be helpful to be able to follow you.
Can you observe Russian screen? Russian screen?
Yes, we can
Yes,
see
yes.
the Russian
Okay,
screen.
great.
It's like crowd on the slide.
Yes, crowd. And the second, you can see a woman and the territory of Crimea colored in the Russian flag. And this woman actually was the part of this set of narratives, symbols of Russian Spring, and it was series of memes, series of the images whatsoever. This is Natalia Poklonskaya, who was a Ukrainian prosecutor, and she worked for Russian Federation as an agent in order to help to implement this so-called Russian Spring. And she became one of the faces of Russian Spring, including within the memetic confrontation. Memetic content, definitely it met some kind of confrontation from the Ukrainian part as well, because She's practically Ukrainian person from the enforcement institution, and it was it caused actually very emotional reaction. It had its effect. Polite people, вежливые люди. This is more close. This is the closest I give actually to the topic of war and how Russia presents itself in this content and to shape its participation in different conflicts and especially in Ukraine. And what can we see here? On the first image, we see reference again to the Second World War, like Soviet soldiers in Stalingrad playing cat, and the same polite people in Crimea playing cat. The second group of polite people come to Crimea to relax. The main is to ask apologizes. Can you help me to get to the beach? And at all pictures you can observe people in military uniforms, in Russian military uniforms, and this attribution to polite people, like military personals, is polite people, and this is a perfect example of denial facts and of creating false persona according to analytical psychological approach. And my favorite here in this set, the last one, this is official. It's not practically internet meme. It's created officially, 2014, the year of Crimea occupation. And this is the expression from the Russian language that politeness takes over cities. And you can see portrayed a soldier with like an angel, and again reference to politeness and military occupation. So totally creating totally different perception of what they are doing in terms of military intervention, totally different reality according what they are doing in informational reality. And if you can observe from the competing agents that memes are mostly counteracting, defensive. In Russian memetic content, you can see this offensive and aggressive message of intention to reset something, to take over something, to aggress something. And yeah, this их там нет, they are not there. And here I would say that it is very good example how meme is created from the political statement, because их там нет, they are not there. This phrase belonged to the Russian President Vladimir Putin. And aftermath, the set of images were created and started to live their own life. And one more interesting point here, that this counteracting with this phrase is really annoying Russian strategic communication, because I found two interesting images on the right part of slide. You can observe them. They in Russian intends to use hashtag их там нет, they are not there, in order to blame Ukraine and even Poland, and even some other country is acting somehow against themselves, against Russia. So they try to cope with these hashtags which degrade Russian with this phrase. Actually, this is a real phrase. It's not degrading. They are degrading themselves by shaping their political behavior in the way that they are not present there. They are not present in Crimea, they are not present in Donbass, they are not present in Ukraine whatsoever. But nevertheless, they try to cope with this hashtag and try to reinforce it against the primary source, because to blame for Ichtamnet, for they are not there, definitely comes not from Russia. The message comes from Russia, but memetic reactions is not. That's the idea. Iskander laughs. It's kind of new. This is a reaction on sanction, and it's also kind of intimidating as a reaction on sanctions, European sanctions primarily. And according to Jung, it roots in the fear of vulnerability. And the same we can say according to expressions and statements that sanctions don't work. But at the same way, we can see that the first requirements is to soften sanctions on any negotiations that Russia participate in. Stones from the sky, I guess it should be in the Crimean set, but it's kind of it's interesting because this is a good example from Russian counter memes. Because this story also from 2014, and this expression "stones from the sky," this was put on the public banner after occupation of Crimea, symbolizing that no matter what, we are at home like we are in Russia. And after Ukrainian army started counteroffensive in Crimea, some counteroffensive acts against Crimea bridge, like you see memetic content pretty offensive from Ukrainian part. It's come from Ukraine because it's in Ukrainian language, like shelled Crimea bridge, and you wanted stones, please, here are stones. And third image is also interesting because it's portraying how this really strange expression in terms of memetic content started to live with its own life and mutating within the digital environment. And you can see no wording here, no words, no statements, but the stone stone on the human body, and it's like who is in this context pretty has probably this association with this expression "stone from the sky" and this like communication regarding occupation of Crimea. Green Man, this is the extension of they are not there, их там нет, and it also represents phantom archetype and reflect hidden actions, intentions to intimidate, disrupt order, summon fear, and unsettle identity. And these memes come from Russian digital environment. They produce kind of brands with this statement, not only with this context as well. But it's interesting that they really support this statement that green man and like, can you see them? No, we don't see them. And practically you can observe green man militants on the image, like playing with perception. very toxic intimidations. It's not so new, but it's very bold in this regard. Nuclear ashes represent destroyers, annihilation, embodying the existential fear. And firstly, it appeared on the TV, the most the primary TV channel, Russia one, and the most prominent TV anchor, Evgeny Kiselyov, he said about that Russia needs to transform USA and nuclear ashes. And this kind of nuclear intimidation is still one of the core directions, core lines of information warfare and information and FIMI campaign, let's say, of Russian Federation. But despite that fact, it is TV program. It also traveled to the digital environment and started to live own life. And even face of Evgeny Kiselyov started to be associated with this expression, nuclear ashes. I wanted to say a few words about our project, but Anna managed to do it from at the beginning. Thanks her for that, and thank you for your.
Oops, Mariana disappeared. Let's hope she has to maybe rejoin again, because we will have some time for the questions. Let me see. That. Time. Please feel free to ask some questions. I know we are out of the time, but you can, but we can still have some minutes. Mariana, you are here?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Something interfered.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thanks again for your attention and your participation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mariana. We have some questions here. If you can see, so the first question is about should governments fund meme campaigns as part of official defense and strategic communication budgets? You can also see them in the Q&A. Maybe it will be easier.
Yes, actually, maybe my response will not be about funding directly, but I really believe and I support that idea that state should have very clear and very coordinated strategic communication. The point is that some countries goes in the direction when state cooperate with media entities. That is not right, in my opinion. The state should coordinate its strategic communication effort with communication departments, communication institutions, communication agencies, that infrastructure that funded by state. I'm not so much believe in this cooperation between state and independent media and press, but there are pretty developed infrastructure, at least in Eastern Europe, which involved in every agency, in every ministry, communicational department, and that is that is the place where this coordination should occur. And yes, if some ideas foresees using memes, why not? The point is to respect human rights, the point to respect human dignity and human values. That is the point. The idea is not in the content itself. The idea is how we use this content. That is my answer.
Thank you so much, Mariana. We have several actually questions here, but I will choose some of them based on our, because we don't have so much time. But actually, it's a very interesting one. Basically, it's about this. The question is: the racist discourse in memes is truly disturbing. How do you assess the value of anti-Russian narratives that instrumentalize racism, targeting Asians?
Yes, I see your point. I see your point. This is anti-colonial context, I believe. It's very difficult to tackle with it on the level of strategic communication, unfortunately, and I would say it's impossible. It's not the subject of strategic communication. It's a matter of how we perceive colonial politics of Russian Federation, how we consider colonial politics of other states. That is the point. We should, and the key actually in the aggression against Ukraine, because in this war, Russia kills Asian people, because at the very beginning in 2024, we observed a lot of Asian ethnicity people. I'm sorry if I name it somehow mistakenly. It's not my topic very much, but my idea that Russia is the state who kills and instrumentalize this chauvinistic attitude, that killing practicing toward its own people because they are Russian citizens, at least, even if they are Asian by ethnicities, they are Russian Federation citizens, and Russia is the state who kills them and instrumentalize them and portrays them as funny. We all remember this anecdotal, provoking humor about stupid, co-citizen. I really don't want to use this in a public conversation, but about Ukrainians, about Moldovans, about Romanians, about Belarusians, and this is the way how Russian Federation on every historical stages communicate within internal political environment with our citizens, with our people. That is the problem.
Thank you so much, Mariana. I hope that answers the question and in the way the person wanted. And the next question would be, what is the intertextual dialogue established between state strategic communications through, for example, stamp issues, etc., and memes created in the collective digital space? So the relationship between state strategic communication and memes created in the collective digital space.
Memes, it depends how we understand actually memes. If our starting point, as I suggested you in my presentation, as the fragments of collective culture, definitely strategic communication should rely on it, because the idea of strategic communication to reach the audience, and you need to use any instruments to reach the audience, because the idea is to be heard, the idea is to be understood. That is a very technical matter. What you want to transmit, this is another story. But meme here and memetic content, this is the channel how you reach your audience. You reach your audience through the collective frustration. You reach your audience through the collective emotion. You reach your audience through the gather them around archetype they find attractive for them. So you need to target the internal emotional state according to this mixed approach that I suggest to your consideration. So my answer is that memetic content here is the clear instruments how your strategic communication should or want to reach the audience.
Yeah, and also I found very interesting question here. Should there be international norms or treaties regulating meme warfare in state-level conflicts?
I guess it's maybe you could develop your idea if you see somehow this perspective, but I personally see the matter that war itself extended to the informational environment, and where we actually have everything, starting from memes until the educational content. And this is a matter of algorithms. This is the general problem that we have war in internet. That we have war where we have every kind of entertainment and every other kind of information that should aiming to save information should save lives, but instead we have instrumentalized it, including memes, in the warfare. This is my response. But if you have clear ideas how it should be done, please share with me. It's interesting.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Mariana. And last but not least question we have here, actually interesting as well. What are the best mitigation strategy in countering the Russian information warfare operations?
This is actually the question that no one knows how to respond to, because we are actually here to discuss some insights, to share ideas, and thank you for this question, because this is actually the mission of Athena, including to reinforce security issue on the informational level in order to counteract infamy coming from autocrats regimes, including Russia, what we have on our border and on your European border. I believe this should be complex work and complex proactive strategy. I like very much concept, and it comes actually from Russia, of reflexive control. The idea of this concept is you need to foresee the reaction of your opposing part, and to align your strategic communication according to this. Again, the matter is for which sake we use this. Russia used this concept, reflexive control, in order to invade other states. But this concept opens a very good perspective how to how to make prognosis, how to analyze all these step-by-step, not only strategies. And we need to use also Russian approaches in order to combat information streets and FEMIS. It would help, because there are a lot of good works done.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mariana. And if I may, the last question actually from me, I would like to pose one. I'm quite curious to understand if there is any ties related between the social media campaigns, like memes in this case, in shaping military decision, like on the battlefield specifically. Like, is there some connection between, because we are talking on like here on two different levels of influence, right? One in the battlefield, second one more like a psychological impact. But do they have a kind of a relations between each other, and what are the relations between kind of how strong they are in shaping those?
If I understood you correctly, it's also about target audience. It's just another target group. So we have story about denigrating mobilization. We have stories about mobilization inside of Russia. Okay, it's not FIMI, it's DIMI, but nevertheless, we have different memes, for example, to the war until the last Ukrainian. This also target mostly military audience. So this is the matter of target audience of your strategic communication. If you target a military component of population, you elaborate respectively the message which would be sensible for them.
Excellent. That answers my question. Thank you so much, Mariana. We're already 12 minutes behind the schedule, so we answered. I try to take at least one question from each participant who posed the question here in the Q&A, and I think that it was worth it even to be delayed for 12, now 13 minutes. So I would like to thank you all for the participation. So also Mariana for giving her knowledge and sharing her experience and giving this very nice Q&A discussion. So what will happen now is that we will share with you the recording of the this webinar where you can rewatch it as well. Then also you will receive from us a small summary of what has been discussed here. Also some answers on Mariana questions, on the questions which were posed here to Mariana, which we took. And also it's interesting to know that we will be organizing also the next webinars, which all of them we will kind of put the registration links on our newsletter. So please feel free to subscribe to Asina newsletters. I will send just here like a small links, short links to our some of the social media channels where we use for the Asina project. So feel free to subscribe on our website to the newsletter and also on our LinkedIn and Nix accounts. Also, we have Instagram and Blue Sky account and Spotify as well. We recently had a podcast as well, which was also discussed topics of FEMIA, definitely. So all that information you can find on our social media and on our website. So once again, I would like to thank you all for this truly amazing webinar. And we will hope we will see you soon for our next webinar. The upcoming one will be on the 17th of April, which will be organized by our partner, EU Disinfo Lab. All the information you can also find through our newsletter, which we will be sending in a couple of days. Hence, on this, I would like to stop and to officially close the webinar. So thank you again and wish you a great day. And like it's okay, it's Thursday, so upcoming weekends in some days. But yeah, stay tuned for our updates. So thank you a lot, and thank you, Mariana. And see you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.